Hello, my beautiful Cancers. Welcome and thank you so much for letting me read for you. This reading will be split into general energy reading, career and finance, and love. Okay. You will see timestamps down below so that way you can go to whatever portion is most important to you. All right, Cancers, let's begin. For your general energy reading, we have here 3 cards already set out for you. The situation is the 7 of Swords. Your block here is the King of Swords, and we have the King of Wands as the outcome. What does this mean, right? When I see the 7 of Swords as the main situation for you and the overall energy for this month, this tells me that there will be revelations, okay? 7 of Swords indicates that whatever has happened behind your back, it will come to the surface. Also, this is a card of re-strategizing, okay? So knowing where you stand, knowing certain parts of missing puzzles that you didn't know before, this will require for you to change the course of action, okay? So this is a very important card. This is a card of recognizing where it is that you need to have a more independent spirit, but also where it is that maybe you might need some assistance and you might need to utilize some resources, right? So this all depends on your situation. But this is nonetheless a card of really shifting the mindset and being prepared to move forward with a new, different strategy, okay? So that's what I'm seeing there with the 7 of Swords as the overall energy reading. We have here the King of Swords as the block, and that tells me that you need to be careful with not being too harsh on yourself, not too over analytical on yourself. There's this energy of allowing also creativity to flow through, right? So when you're in this midst of trying to decide how to re-strategize, how to go about things in a different way, at times the logic might be what keeps you blocked. So Spirit is saying, especially with the King of Wands here showing up in the outcome, Spirit is saying, please allow yourself to be an open channel, right? And what I mean by that is an open channel to your own intuition, to your own discernment, and to your own higher frequency. This means getting creative. This means getting active, okay? That is potentially what can help you with overcoming the block of being too rigid and too analytical, like the King of Swords is showing up here. For some of you guys, the King of Swords can actually be a person, an individual in your life. And if that's the case, this is a person that is very rigid, very much set in their ways. They're not compassionate whatsoever. So this is not the best person to reason with when it comes to your feelings or, you know what I mean, whatever subconscious or hidden wounds you might feel yourself potentially dealing with around this time. This individual is not the best person to speak to about that. They're not going to give you the response that you're looking for. So allow yourself to be on that level of awareness so that way you have more of control and discernment of who do you decide to be more vulnerable with. Okay, so very important. I want to go ahead and get a little bit more on this King of Swords as the block. What can you tell me? Okay. What can you tell me? King of Swords as the block. We have here 3 of Pentacles. So this could be someone that some of you guys might be collaborating with. Also, the 3 of Pentacles shows me that it's best for you to focus on your own actions, your own behaviors, what you can control, right? So this speaks about collaboration. So let's say, for example, 7 of Swords saying something will be revealed. 3 of Pentacles showing this energy of collaboration, which shows me that this is about individuals around you. This could be in a work environment. It doesn't necessarily have to be, obviously. This is for many people that are watching this video on the internet. But with that being said, this 3 of Pentacles, to a certain degree, you have to mind your own business and you have to basically do what you can do best. Because at times, we just simply cannot control what other individuals choose to do with their time and their behavior, right? So that's really interesting. Maybe the collaboration will be a bit difficult this month, right? If you're dealing with a person like this King of Swords, okay? These 2 wanted to show up. So there's a big change happening with the Wheel of Fortune. There is a shift that's happening, right? And that really does resonate with the reading because the 7 of Swords, when this information is revealed, is kind of hard to obviously act like nothing ever happened. So the shift absolutely is going to happen, and it might feel very fated. It might feel like it was destined for this to be like that. And then you have here the Page of Cups. which the Page of Cups, it speaks to me about vulnerability, right? I just spoke about being careful with who you choose to be vulnerable with. This is the perfect energy to confirm that message. At times with the Page of Cups, we have good intentions. We're very authentic. We are unafraid or fearless about our emotions. We don't see those as vulnerabilities, but not everybody sees it the way that you do. So be very careful with who you choose to essentially speak to about your issues and the things that you're struggling with. That's very important, okay? So this is what I have for the general energy reading. So far, there is a lot that you have to really keep in mind as far as, when you do find out things that are happening or things that, have occurred already. It's really important for you to keep your calm, right? That's also one of the things that I see with the King of Swords being in the block. It could be that, you allow yourself to be too irrational, too emotional, and it can cause issues for you. So it is a way of maintaining emotional intelligence that's really required here in order for you not to, do something that you might want to backtrack with the information that might be revealed to you. Okay. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and move forward towards career and finances. All right, Cancer, for career and finance, you have here the Six of Swords. Okay. What's blocking you is the Eight of Pentacles. And what is showing up as the outcome is the Two of Pentacles. So what this tells me is that there is a juggling act, a balancing act that needs to happen in your career and finances. There is a need to walk away from a toxic pattern or toxic habit, behavior when it comes to your finances, meaning that there could be an unresolved issue that you need to really focus on having a resolution for. So, for example, if you're trying to budget, it's really important for you to keep your own word when it comes to your finances. Also, if you have told yourself, I need to find a new job, this is not working for me, this is not enough money for me, this environment is too toxic for me, Spirit is saying follow through, okay? The Six of Swords is about walking away from something that no longer serves you. This is about saving your breath. This is about choosing your peace over anything else. And that is a situation for Korean finances. That is what Spirit wants you to be aware of, right? That you need to have peace of mind. You need to have, a level of harmony in your life in order for things to feel worth it. Now, the block here is that there is a blinded focus with the Eight of Pentacles showing up as the block. Sometimes the Eight of Pentacles is problematic because even though it shows a strong discipline and dedication to your craft, it also shows such dedication that you're not putting your head up to look and see what's around you. And that could be why in the general energy reading, there was this energy of the Seven of Swords, because certain things potentially have been happening around you, but you're so focused that you haven't picked up your head to see what's around. So like I said, very good thing. It shows that you're focused. It shows that you're trying to make this work. But at times, the environment, the things that we cannot control are nudging us to be aware of a certain situation and be aware of what certain things might be disbalanced. So that's really, really important. Now, I see here the Two of Pentacles as the outcome. I don't love the Two of Pentacles as the outcome because it shows a very, very, very busy energy. I feel like some of you guys might be very busy during this month. This Two of Pentacles, right, is the Juggler. And the Juggler, it's not that it's a negative energy, but it's an energy that is not meant to be sustainable. It's meant to be a temporary fix. So with this situation, there is a need for you to understand that you need to reprioritize, okay? Reprioritize. You need to know where is your limit? How much can you really chew? And how much can you really obtain or fill your plate with for you to fully show up in your best way possible, right? Because at times we pick up so many things and we say, oh, yes, we could do it. Yes, we could do it. Yes, we could do it. And maybe you can do it, but that doesn't mean that you're giving it your best effort forward, okay? So very important. There is a need to walk away from something here, okay? And it only will make sense when you pick up your head and start to see exactly what's around you, okay? Let me go ahead and get a little bit more. Why is the Eight of Pentacles the block? So, Eight of Pentacles with the Four of Pentacles So I immediately feel with the Four of Pentacles, this is an energy of scarcity, even though the Four of Pentacles can also tell me that you're focusing on your stability. That's why maybe you're so focused. That's why you might feel like certain things are just none of your business, because it's this energy of preserving what you have, right? Security, stability, a strong foundation. But sometimes with this energy, we also can shoot ourselves in the foot by not picking up our head and seeing what's around you. You have here the sun, okay? And the sun speaks about, following your path, okay? Following your authenticity. What is your spirit and your soul screaming at you? This is also a card of positivity. This is a card that says, there's a lot more positive than negative. Even if you potentially might be in an environment where you're not happy with, there is so much more that the sun can illuminate for you. That means that if you allow yourself to receive and allow yourself to expand your horizons, there could be further opportunities out there for you, maybe outside of this specific situation, right? And then you have here the Seven of Swords that wants to show up again. So again, there's this need of re-strategizing, okay? There's this need of allowing yourself to see that you cannot control nobody's behavior but your own. And at the end of it all, re-strategizing and figuring out what your next step is and who you can rely on and who you cannot and things like that is the best thing for you, even though at times it might feel like, oh, we're doing this alone. But at times, it's better for us to count on ourselves and we know that we're solid versus thinking that we can count on other individuals and they might not have the best interest at heart for us, okay? So I do see positive things in your career and finances. But right now, yes, maybe the focus is obviously obtaining the money because we are all here, right? Seeking the same desire. But there is a little bit more that you have to be paying attention to. There's something that's going on around you, potentially in your work environment, that requires your attention. Put your head up and start observing the behavior that's around you, okay? So with that being said, my loves, let's go ahead and flip it to our love readings. Okay, so for my beautiful single people here, all right, we have the Three of Pentacles, the Ten of Cups, and the World. So the World as the outcome tells me that there's something that's coming to a full cycle, okay? This could be that there is something along the lines of collaboration. So it could be that maybe you have been entertaining someone that you feel maybe you can build with. And I feel like that is actually coming to an end because there's a disharmony here with the Ten of Cups, right? So this can mean that maybe you guys haven't aligned emotionally or there's certain values that just don't simply, align between you guys. It feels like this person could be very strong potential for you, but there is this energy of, well, something is completed. This Ten of Cups in the middle saying something's not really fulfilling me. And then the Three of Pentacles also can give me like this third party situation, or it can give me that maybe work is getting too much in the way of your dating life. Maybe you just don't have time to date. So that's what I have in that situation. Give me a little bit on this Three of Pentacles. What do we have? So we have the Four of Swords. Yeah, need for rest and restoring yourself. And then there is this Three of Wands, but it's showing up in reverse. So yeah, there's kind of like this delay. And I also feel like this is energy of like, you just need to rest. You just need to focus on yourself. There's kind of like, I just heard the word disagreement with it, looking at this Ten of Cups. Maybe there has been a disagreement with someone that you have been speaking to. And you start to realize, oh, wow, their values actually don't align with me. So I need to withdraw. I need to recharge myself. There was like an argument, or there will be an argument that kind of puts a stop to this growth, to this potential, right? To this expansion. So that puts a stop to it. The World is saying, yeah, it's being wrapped up. Okay. Let's get a little bit more on this Ten of Cups. What do we have? Ten of Cups. Okay, with the Temperance, time to balance something important out. That's what I'm hearing with that. And then we have the Six of Wands, okay? Focusing on your success, focusing on what you feel is important, right? So there is this energy of kind of shifting your energy to yourself, right? Three of Pentacles, that's the main situation. What does that tell me? It tells me that you have been trying to collaborate. It tells me that you have been trying to be open and receiving what they can potentially bring to the table. but something just didn't go right. Something went sour. Three of Wands in reverse. Four of Swords, withdrawing. Temperance, needing to recharge, rebalance yourself. Putting yourself back out there to test out new waters. That's what I'm seeing there. Six of Wands. You are someone very desired, okay? You are someone very desired with a good reputation. Okay, so even if the cycle ends with this person, if maybe this person just didn't check all your boxes, Spirit is saying with the world is that at the end you will be successful. You will be finding the love that you're looking for. But at the same time, it's not the right time to settle, right? And this is for singles that obviously want to look for love. Some singles don't care, and that's okay. And if you don't care, you don't need to watch the love reading. But this is a positive reading because it just shows that there is potentially something showing up and between you and this individual that maybe you haven't seen already. And the good thing is that this is the early stages. So you're not necessarily wasting your time. You know what I mean? So, and if you have invested time, it's better now than later. Okay. So that's what I get with the singles. Give me a little bit, give me a final message, please. Final message. And we have here the Chariot. Yeah. So like you stay focused, determined, driven, stay on your own path and don't ever give up. Okay. Because what that shows is success, determination, accomplishment, overcoming these hurdles, these obstacles. Spirit is saying you will find what you're looking for. You will. But there's certain things that just need to be purged out. And this individual, if you resonate with this, is one of them. Okay. So that being said, let's go ahead and move forward to my people in relationships. Okay, my love. So for my people in relationships, this feels a little bit heavy. Okay. Ace of Wands showing up in the heart of the reading as the situation. This is actually the better part. There is an energy of, I have this motivation now to move forward with something. But some of you guys might feel confused as to where you stand in this relationship. And then as the outcome, we have the 10 of Swords, which shows a painful ending. Okay, so let's get a little bit on this Ace of Wands. Okay. Ace of Wands with the King of Swords. Okay, so this is not just a flame for the heck of it. This is a motivation that really is pushing you to be very strategic about something. So that's really interesting. Give me some on the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups. Maybe some of you guys are married and you have to really look at this from a very objective perspective. Yeah, so there's this strong evaluation about a relationship, right? Two of Cups. That shows the relationship itself. Now, with the King of Swords, okay, one underlining energy that I'm getting is that someone is emotionally detached. Someone is emotionally unavailable. This person, whether it's you or the other party, could be someone very difficult to talk to. It could be someone very not lacking empathy. Can be very hard to open up to this person because it could be that they are so detached from their own emotions that they make you feel like you're just talking to a brick wall. Okay, so that's not a very positive energy. But at the same time, if this individual has been like this, or if you have been like this, it's like they already know that this is just how you are, or you already know how this is just how they are. So you can potentially overcome that if that's just simply a personality trait of someone, right? But if it's someone completely changing their personality traits, and this is like a new thing, then it doesn't really look good, right? Because you have here the 10 of Swords as well. So there is just this energy of wanting to push forward with something, but the Ace of Wands is something that requires strategy behind this energy because it will evaporate. So for example, if let's say there has been a very difficult time in the relationship, and lately maybe there has been very spicy time in the bed, or there has been kind of like a burst of energy, right? Of spontaneity, and things just feel good out of nowhere. It still requires for you guys to do the work. It still requires for that strategy to be behind that flame. Otherwise, the flame will fade. Okay. So very interesting. Let's go ahead and get into the 10 of Swords. The Fool. So there is kind of like a new beginning. And then we have the devil. Interesting. So the Fool and the devil, both. So you have the free spirit of the Fool, but you also have the tough restriction of the devil card along the lines with Saturn. The Fool is saying that, I feel like what this is showing me that is just two sides to the coin, right? There is a painful ending that's showing up there, meaning there could probably be like an argument where you guys might say harsh things to one another. King of Swords with the Two of Cups, right? However, with the Fool and the devil, I feel like this is where the duality concept comes into place and where our decisions can impact the outcome of something. The Fool can indicate a clean slate. So putting a painful ending to this kind of buildup, having that peak argument, freshing it, ironing it out, and then you have the clean slate of the Fool. Or you can have this devil lingering energy that does not let you guys breathe, right? And the devil means, kind of like thinking about the things that happen over and over again, bringing it up, being a prisoner to these things that you guys have struggled with, right? That's the bondage energy of the devil, right? But there's also another side to the devil, which is this unconventionality, right? So the unconventionality can be throwing all of these grudges, these unresolved issues, and saying, you know what, we let it go and we start from scratch, right? So either way, you can salvage your relationship if you want it. But at the same time, like I said, it requires a strategy, because if you just allow this flame to burn and you start to do the feel good stuff because maybe things are starting to feel a little bit better, just given that obviously Mercury retrograde is also ending, and we will, by the mid of December, we will be out of the post-shadow period. However, the problem with that is that if you don't, again, do the proper work, then you're still going to trip over the same rock. So it's very necessary for you to look at that strategy part, okay? Final messages for people in relationships. The Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords, what can this symbolize? This can symbolize that things are worse in your mind than what they are in the reality. Eight of Swords can symbolize, unresolved issues that make you feel like you're having an internal war, meaning not being able to speak it to your partner. Therefore, you feel like you're in an internal prison. That could be very interesting. Eight of Swords, though, reminds you that the mind is very powerful, meaning that we can, with clearing our heads and being more level-headed, we are winning half the battle. Once you tame these thoughts, right? The worst case scenario, the role plays in your mind that, of things that maybe you should have said in a particular argument or whatever. The more you keep replaying those type of emotions or those type of memories or those type of scenarios, then the more on the Eight of Swords you will be, right? So it's a matter of having the self-awareness to be able to say, okay, well, those things didn't happen. And if something like that ever happens, this is how I would handle it with my partner, right? And if they can't meet me there, then we can't be together, right? So it is kind of a tricky one for people in relationships. So please let me know if this resonated with you, not just this part, but the entire reading. Let me know what your thoughts are down below if you do want to share with me. I would encourage you to please like and subscribe if you do want to support my channel. And I'll see you guys on the next one, okay? Bye.